You might think touching something is as simple as reaching out and, well, touching it. Turns out it's not that simple. If we zoom in real close, things get a whole lot weirder. Let me explain. See that comfy chair you're sitting on? You might feel like you're making solid contact, but in the atomic realm, it's a different story. You're actually hovering above it, separated by a teeny tiny gap so small it makes your hair look like a skyscraper. This all thanks to the wonders of atoms, the building blocks of everything around us. Imagine an atom like a miniature solar system. It's got a central nucleus and a cloud of zippy electrons whizzing around it. Now, when two atoms get friendly, they can bond and share electrons. But if they're just passing by, like your hand and the chair, they don't actually touch. Why? Because those electrons act like tiny magnets with the same charge, and like poles repel each other. It's like a cosmic game of stay out of my bubble. So, when you touch something, you're not really touching in the traditional sense. It's more like the atoms are having a polite standoff, with the electrons creating an invisible barrier. But hey, fortunately, our nerves can feel this repulsive force, and that's what translates to the texture or feeling of an object. Feeling a little lonely? This might hurt. Even that hug you gave your grandma wasn't exactly a physical connection. You were just experiencing the repulsive force field of her electrons. Bummer, right? But wait, there's a plot twist. Let's ditch the electrons and focus on the nucleus. Can we touch on a deeper level? Maybe even influence the nucleus of another person's atoms? Well, you might need to channel your inner superhero for this one, because it involves being a little bit Turns out we're all slightly radioactive, thanks to unstable atoms in our bodies like carbon-14 and potassium-40, found in everyone's favorite fruit, bananas. So, could a radioactive ray from you zap into someone else's nucleus, finally achieving true atomic touch? Well, it's possible, but incredibly unlikely. The radiation is weak, and our bodies aren't exactly nuclear power plants. You're probably thinking now, why I clicked on this video. Now I'll start overthinking even touching things. Well, I'm sorry for that, but maybe we do touch something after all. Let's go deeper and explore something else to find out: chemical reactions. Remember those unfriendly atoms not wanting to touch? Well, they become a little more chummy when they share electrons. This happens all the time, like when you eat food and your body chemically reacts to break down the nutrients. So what about getting personally close on a chemical level? Do we actually end up touching something sometimes? Well, besides resorting to cannibalism, definitely not recommended, the closest you get is during birth. When you're growing inside your mom, your parents' DNA is busy bonding and sharing electrons to create you. Now that's what you call a close connection. Even though we can't achieve true atomic touch, those hugs and high fives still carry a lot of meaning, right? After all, sometimes connection isn't about the physics, it's about the feeling. By the way, you can still try touching the subscribe button. It might work.